Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm trying to get back to doing what I used to do, and waking people up to the truth. Um, and those kind of videos, I at least want to get them in every now and then because you guys start to follow me, and I've done videos on this stuff before. And if you didn't start following me before or when I did those videos, you might not know or it didn't go back and catch those. But one of the things I've talked a lot about is our history, and it doesn't matter, people. What you don't understand is who writes the history is who won, who survived it. Just like with Germany and stuff. Germany wasn't going to write the history. Now they might wrote some history that they hear over there, but the history that's told throughout the world is what the Allies wrote, and that's true about all history. You don't see in the history books the side of the Indians when there was 100 million tribe or 100 million Indians that lived in different tribes throughout the United States when supposedly Columbus discovered it. Discovered what? How do you discover something when there's 100 million people already living there? On top of the fact that Columbus never even hit North America. He hit South America. He never made it as far north. He never hit North America. But they give him credit for it. Now, these are things you can find out right now. But the way things are going, you're not going to be able to find them out. Because they're going to remove either one of two things. They're either going to remove the truth they don't want anybody to know about, or they're going to pack so many lies around it, you won't be able to figure out the truth anyway. Now, I always tell you people, man, everything that went bad in America began at about 20 years before the Civil War. But the Civil War was what done it. It was what, I mean, people, they gave us, our forefathers of this country gave us that Constitution. And even Benjamin Franklin was quoted saying to some woman asked them when they came out of whatever meeting that signed the Declaration and everything, and the Bill of Rights and all that. And when he came out of the meeting, a woman asked him, "What have you guys done? What have you done?" And he looked at her and said, "We gave you a republic for as long as you can hold it." That's why when we used to say Pledge of Allegiance every morning, people, before school, and we'd stand up with our hands over our heart and repeat that pledge, it nowhere in there talked about a democracy. It only talked about a republic. Now, the Civil War, basically, people think it was fought for to free the slaves. That was the agenda of Lincoln, and that's all he wanted, and he accomplished that. Of course, that's what you're going to be told. That's what they put in the history books. What they didn't tell you is that the North had slave states. And even some of the southern states that were slave states, were border states to the North, they fought on the side of the Union. The thing about Lincoln is he wanted to be able to tax the southern states. They had their own president. It was like they were their own country, and they didn't want to be a part of what the northern states were doing with all the taxation and stuff. They didn't want none of that. Well, Lincoln wanted all the state. He wanted to be able to tax all the states and get all the money he can get. He didn't want to just stick with the northern states. He wanted all of them. And greed set in. He wanted to control all of them. As the war went on, and Lincoln, he had to come up with a reason to get people to fight for the North. So he's the one that involved the slaves, freeing the slaves. And he got to a point he wasn't winning. So he told, that's why he said, I'll give you, if you'll come up here and fight for us, we'll give you freedom and a piece of land or whatever, and you come up here and fight for us for freedom. And they did. The only reason he did that was because he was losing. Wasn't because he was winning and he didn't need them anyway. And he was offering it to them. He did it because he needed them to win. But what you people, they don't tell you about, and if you read some books that other people wrote from back in that time that worked with Lincoln and stuff, the whole plan was, after the war, Lincoln, because he looked at black people as a lower class form. Believe it or not, I don't care. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. But he did look at slaves as a lower class form. And he did not want to keep them in America. He made a plan that he was going to ship these people down to South America because it was too expensive to try to ship them back to where he thought they came from. But that was his plan, folks. And that's probably why he got a bullet in his head. And they probably talked that clown into doing it and being the scapegoat and everything. And some people say that he didn't die in that barn the way the story's told, that he went on to live. So that's probably why he got the bullet in his head, because of those plans. But they used Lincoln. He wasn't nothing more. He was a puppet, just like the rest of them. They used him to get what they wanted. And they convinced everybody, and they told you all this time, that the North won. They convinced you the North won, beat the South, and that's how it ended. Let me tell you, folks, that ain't how it ended. That was how they bankrupted our country. They bankrupted it. We didn't even have our republic for 80 years, folks. We didn't even make it 100 years. 100 years with our republic. And today, we proudly call it a democracy. Blows my mind. Now, I talked about Lincoln and his involvement in the Civil War and everything. And I did that because the very next thing after the Civil War happened, the Act of 1871 was put into place. This took your Constitution out and replaced it with the Federal Reserve, the IRS, all these different corporations. It took your government apart and turned it into a corporation. And later on, everything else is turned into a corporation, including we the people. it started with the Act of 1871. And something about the Act of 1871 or not the Act, but that year that I just found out today from another video I was watching. The NRA, National Riflemen's Association, one of the biggest gun law advocates in the world, claiming not to be, but they are. They even brag how the president of the NRA or CEO or whatever he is that he was the one that got the background checks put through, helped to get them pushed through into law. But it's funny, folks, how the NRA was started in the same year, 1871. And people thought the NRA was fighting for their rights, when the NRA was a psyops to get you to give up your rights. And you did. We did. I mean, not you. We all did. Our families before us. That's why I say, people, and everything from the Act of 1871 forward, with all the changes in the tax, the IRS, and all this stuff, each one of those things that were added to it after that took more and more of your rights away. Once the Federal Reserve and the IRS was put into place, people, you no longer could own property in this country. I don't care how much. You can have the biggest farm out here with hundreds of thousands of acres, and it's been in your family for 50 years. You don't own it. The government does. You show me proof you don't pay them property taxes, and they don't come and get it, and I might believe you own it. But other than that, if you're paying property taxes, even after you pay it off, you don't own it. They'll come and take it if you don't pay it. So you're still making a payment on something you don't own. Got to get over that stupid shit, people. Just because they let you think you own something don't mean you own it. They can take it all away at the drop of a hat. And people, let me tell you something. They change laws, so much shit going on at all times, that it's come down to this on me again, that I'm being forced to do by people that want to make a criminal out of me. The people I had a house painting business. My dad started a house painting business back in 82 or 83 down in Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida, and I helped him start it. Me and him, we worked down there a couple of years and ended up moving out towards Arizona. Moved into Arizona, and we built it up out there. I worked for him for about 10 years, and then I worked on my own with my own business, and he still had his business too, but I went off on my own for about 15 years. Well, the government overregulated us so bad it wasn't even funny. It got to the point, people, we not only had to have a state license to work in the state, each and every little city we worked in, we had to go to that city and get a city license. And then we had to pay each of those cities, depending on how big they were, a percentage of our jobs. Now, not only that, we had to be a part of the register of contractors that cost you about $2,000 a year. And the register of contractors, you needed them because if people wanted to screw with you and you didn't have them on your side, they could keep their money or screw you out of money. And if you wasn't licensed, they could screw you out of money. Now, they overregulated me and my dad right out of business. We couldn't even, and now, hell, I hear paint has went up so much, I about flipped out. I don't know how any painters are making any money. But They shut me down on that. And at the end of that, I went to college, and I don't know if you guys have heard the story. My daughter was graduating. She graduated in the top 5% of the kids in the country. She was put in a national yearbook. And she had no plans of going to college. So I wanted her to go to college. I had my business going. My wife was working for Intel at the time when she was making killer money. And we wanted her to go to college. She looked at us and said, well, you guys didn't go. Why would I? So I went down and signed up at 40 years old, 38 years old. I signed up to go to college. And it took me 3 years and I did it. But it blew up in my face because I never even used the degree. And my daughter still never went to college. She goes, why would I go spend that kind of money, Dad, and not even use it to go to... And I had no argument. But I couldn't do nothing with that degree. The people told me... I spent 3 years getting that damn degree. And these people told me, you can't get a job. You need a job experience. I said, well, how do you get job experience if you can't find nobody to hire you? Well, we don't know. So I never used the damn degree. They ended up, in the school, they told us all, we'd all have jobs, guaranteed it in writing. We'd all be working in that field by the time we graduated. I knew one person, and her family owned a business that she went into and making, I think she started at like $65,000 a year out of high school or college, and she was like 22. And she's probably kicking ass today. But that was fucked up on me. So I went and got paid a school to teach me to drive semis. Everything. I wanted to drive them all. And I was. When I left that school, I had I could drive anything. I had all the endorsements that you could have on a CDL, Class A CDL. I could drive anything. And I did that for 14 years. And the damn government somehow, ain't nobody been able to figure out how they took my license from me on that. As a matter of fact, here in Borman Township, the police officers run my license. It says it's a regular license, comes up on their computer as a Class A CDL. And that's why I keep telling people the government's fucking with my license. They took it away from me. Well, these people have they've taken everything from me, folks. I used to have banking accounts and 401ks. I used to have vehicles. I had dirt bikes and not quads. My brother had the quad. I've had so much shit over there. I've owned hundreds and hundreds of cars and trucks. I couldn't even count them. Guns, I've owned hundreds of guns. I had all kinds of guns. I've had a lot of shit in my life, folks. Today, you're looking at a man. I don't have a banking account in my name. I don't have a credit card in my name. I don't have anything in my name. One thing in my name, and it's that Jeep right there. That's all I have, folks, in my name. I'm on a lease on this house, but my name ain't on no bills. No electric bill, no gas bill, no phone bills. My name is not on anything other than that Jeep. That's all I got. And my tools and stuff around here, of course, folks, but all this stuff is 20 years old and older. I don't have anything, folks, so there's nothing for them to take. Nothing left. And I don't even know where I was going with that now. Well, anyway, I don't have anything for them to take. Oh, that now I know. And now I got this Boardman Township Police Department and the prosecutor's office telling me I'm going to have to change my driver's license over to Ohio, which is fine. But what do? You go down here to the damn license branch, try to get your driver's license switched over, and we got to have a lease. We got to have a bill that comes to the house in your name. We got to have this. We got to have that. We got to have this. We got to have that. Now, I got a good driver's license in my pocket right now. They just don't like it that it's not an Ohio driver's license because they've got a stupid statute in place or some kind of bullshit. They know who I am. They know where I am. They know where my son lives. They know where my daughter lives. They know more about me than they know about a lot of people that's lived here all their lives. But they've made laws to where I can't go down here and get a license without having these things. So I don't have no money. Who's going to give me a credit on a electric bill? Who's going to hook up cable for me? I don't have no credit. I don't have no money. Who's going to do that? My doctors cut me off. I don't get nothing from my doctor's offices anyway. But I don't know what to tell anybody. I got my court papers that says I live at this address. And a lease with my name on it. That's it. Now, how am I supposed to go down here because of the laws and the crap they've got into place and try to follow what they say to be true and is what the law is when they won't let me? And it's not like I'm trying to falsify who I am. They know exactly who I am. So it ain't got nothing to do with that. So, I don't know, folks. They're going to make criminals out of all of us no matter what. And ain't nobody going to keep their oath. Nobody. Might as well just forget it. So, that's my rant for today. We got a little bit of history in and a little bit of my own rant. But you guys, may God bless us all, because that's the only way out of this. And that door is Jesus Christ. If you don't knock on that door, people, I hate to say what's going to happen. But make no mistake, God loves us all. And I love y'all too. Till the next time. You guys have a good day out there, sun shining anyway. We'll catch you next time.